So here's a question I was asked, and it reads: I'm a music producer, and I would love to know if you have your own perspective on how freelance music producers can get their ball rolling professionally. And I mean, this is a question I'm constantly asked. I get asked this maybe once every couple of days, and I've done videos on this in the past. And generally speaking, to as a music producer to get the ball rolling, I constantly say this in all the videos that I do, is it's all about just getting yourself out there, getting yourself found by anybody and everyone. And there's look, here's you've got let's say there's an artist who's, let's say, getting 80,000 Spotify streams and whatnot, right? Going out doing gigs on a weekend. You got that artist. Then you've got an A-list, big, massive, kind of platinum selling artist. Now, what's the difference between those two kind of producers? And let's call it. Let's look at it as not necessarily as an artist, as like a vocalist or anything like that. It's a producer. Now, when you consider the two, the music that this person's making and the music that this person's making, they're very similar. Believe me, I've mixed people on this side and people on this side, and look. And I always say, if this song that the little guy, let's call it the little guy, had produced, was released by this guy, the big A-list producer, it would still go to number one. The only difference there is this guy is not known. This guy, everybody knows. How important are followers on social media? Highly important. If you go to a record label, right, they will look at you and they will look at your social media content and they will look at how many followers they have. And if you go to them and you've got, let's say, 200 million followers, they're going to go, yeah, here's a record deal, because they know that 200 million followers can instantly generate, you've already got a following. You literally could just release a song and go bang, you've got such a reach. Whereas this guy who's got, let's say, 10,000 followers, you go to a record label, they look at 10,000 followers and they go, well, you know what, it's a start, but this person needs to be built up. This person needs to get up into the scale of like 5 million followers, and then they can then have influence on the sales. Because 10,000, I mean, in realistic terms, if you've got 10,000 followers, you'll probably 100 people out of those 10,000, if they're genuine followers, will actually buy your record. Maybe half, I don't know, maybe half will stream it, just because if they are genuine followers and interested in listening to your song, they might stream it. But then 10,000 followers equals 5,000 streams. Whereas if someone who's got 2 million or 200 million or whatever it is, 10 million, half that, 5 million streams, that's 5 million instant streams. And then the ball rolls. So the ball gets rolling there. And getting that, when you considered like getting the ball rolling, it's highly important to build social media following for a producer. It is highly important. I've spent, on Facebook advertising to build a fan base when we first started Audio Animals, because it's no different when you consider a business and a business in the music industry and building an artist up. It's all the same. It's a business. That is a product. This is a product or service. And both of them are looked at in the same way. So when it comes to, like, for us, we built, I remember getting my first 1,000 followers on Facebook. And now we're up to, I think it's like 128,000. And that does have impact, because let's say, all right, here's, we all know how the Facebook algorithms work in the sense that more engagement, as more engagement comes to the post gets pushed up the kind of pecking order, and more people see it, and it kind of exponentially grows. Um, Now the problem you've got is, let's say for instance, if you, as the small producer, let's say, you've got 1,000 people on your Facebook, and you post your post out. The engagement on that post will be, let's say, 20 people, 20 likes, if that, 10 likes. Compared to the difference, if someone else who's got a lot more followers, they're kind of, they're getting 100 likes, let's say. But what the difference is there is, you've got 10 likes, 100 likes. The difference is that if you've got 10 likes, it's very difficult for that to grow, because that's not going viral. It's getting that viral, that growth of that post. Whereas someone who's got a lot of followers, it's very easy for that to grow. I know, because I've had posts. It's very difficult nowadays to get the engagement you used to get years ago on Facebook and Instagram, things like that. But you deal with what it is. So, for instance, for us, we put a post out and we've got 128,000 people, and you'll get maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 likes on a post. And then as more people like it, it grows and it gets a bit more viral, and it goes into other places and other people find it. And then you see this growth happening where more people like your page, more people engage with your page. And once they engage with your page, they're then targeted by your page when you post something out. So this is reality. This is what it's all about. And this is the kind of this is what, when you go to a big record label, or any record label, they will look at your social media. So kind of start there. And I've got a good friend who's he's a young guy who got signed to a real top label, and one of the first things they said was, we are developing you as an artist, because you're young. And this guy's, is he 19 now? Very young. Very, very good producer. So he already has all the weight behind him in terms of the production. But what the label have said is, we've got to develop you as an artist. You've got to become something that's people want to buy into. It's not good enough to just be like, here's great music. That only happens 0.0001% of the time. It's not good enough to just be like, here's great music. And people just go, yeah, I love that. That's a great song. Lots of people have great music. They just don't get heard. So getting the ball rolling it all comes down to building a following, building a brand, building something that people want to watch, want to be tied into, want to kind of, when you drop a new song, they're interacting with you, so they instantly listen to your song or buy your song or whatever, but they're engaged with you. And that's what it's all about doing. It's a case of getting your audience engaged with you. I could elaborate on this a lot more. There's a lot of other ways to get the ball rolling, but this is ultimately the way to get the ball rolling in terms of building a kind of a brand and building yourself up into something that's kind of valuable. Because at the end of the day, what happens is, if this guy has 10,000 followers, this guy has 10 million follows, when it comes to getting booked as a DJ, for instance, this guy's worth 500 quid for a booking, this guy's worth 10 grand for a booking. that's the difference. Because, and why, you might ask, why is this guy only worth why is this guy only worth £500, and why is this guy worth £10,000? Well, the difference is this guy gets 10 people, 20 people, 100 people through the door. This guy fills arenas. That's the difference there. And people, the people who can bring in a crowd, they're worth their weight in gold, especially to promoters, because they don't have to do any work. They don't have to promote the gig. By putting your name on top of it, you're a headline act. You sell the gig itself. Your name is weight enough to just sell tickets. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's lots of different ways of approaching this question, and I've approached it this way in this question because I've done this video many a time from a different perspective, and this one I'm doing from the perspective of building a social media empire as such. So yeah, that's how I would honestly start building and getting the ball rolling as a business. And one quick thing is, think of yourself and you as an artist, as a producer, as a business, not as a person, as an entity or whatever. Think of yourself as a business. This is a business. This is a brand. This is something you are pushing forward, and you want everybody to get to know you as a brand. So, don't wear Versace, don't wear Ted Baker, don't wear whatever the brands people are wearing these days. Wear your tops. Put your top on. You're your own brand. Why are you wearing someone else's top? Wear your top. Get tops made up in your videos. Wear them. Get tattooed. don't do that. But yeah, it's all about kind of you and your brand and creating this kind of thing that you are, and then pushing that forwards. And believe me, you put together a good brand, and you put together something that's cool, people will come and follow you and like your pages, follow your Instagrams, and keep up to date with the content you're putting out, and constantly put out good content. And people will be interested in you. I get messages from people and comments from people who are like, "Oh yeah, I've been following you guys for 8 years." It's like, wow, brilliant! Like, you were one of the first guys that liked the page and things like that. And that's really, really cool. I love all that sort of stuff, because that just gives that kind of gives me credit, in the sense that I've engaged that person for 8 years, and that's hard to do. To create an audience and build that audience and actually keep that audience engaged with relevant content, it's hard to do, but do it, because it's how you get the ball rolling. It honestly is. It's how we got the ball rolling, and it worked for us, and it will work for you. It's just a case of watching these sorts of videos, getting an inside knowledge on how to really kind of get yourself out there and get that ball rolling. So yeah, hope this helps. Any questions, just fire them in the comments, and I always go through and answer all these questions. So yeah.